Hey friends! So I am so excited to be talking to you about the concept of why learning beginning movement is important. So a lot of us experience this where we learn a concept and then we want it done. We want it perfect. We want to have learned it already. We want to be proficient so we can move on. The beginning stages of learning are so uncomfortable for so many of us, right? We don't really take it on as like, a fun challenge. But let me tell you why it is so important for us to really get the beginning movements down pat before you really start to venture too far off into layering complex movements, like complex concepts, staging, all of that stuff. So the first thing I want to talk to you all about is that when you learn the beginning movement, there is a sense of completion and ownership in the movement once you get it. And why is that important? A lot of the time we have been taught to not trust our bodies, right? The thing of like, oh, I'm sure everything is fine, even though you have that gut feeling and then people are telling you, oh, I'm sure everything is fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Instead of listening to your body and what it's telling you in that moment. So how does that translate back into beginning movement? Well, let me tell you, when we start learning beginning movement, the more you start to actually go through that process of, oh shit, this is really uncomfortable to try and get some of these concepts down, the more you practice being in that space of uncomfortability. And then when you accomplish it, you get that on the other side of it, you're okay and that you got through it. And so this is one of the reasons why it's so important to actually be okay with doing beginning movement, to start off slow, is because there's a process and you trusting that you can do it. Your body will get it eventually, and that it literally just takes practice and time. There's no immediacy in all of this stuff that we want. I want it now. I want it yesterday. I want it last week. All that stuff. It just doesn't happen. It really doesn't happen. It's that practice and that keeping going after the thing that you want, right? So as I learn what it means to move my body in these novel ways and in these beginning concepts, you start to learn to like, oh shit, I can do this. Hell yeah, right? Like you can do it because they're tiny steps, tiny steps. Like if you had to walk the wall of a pyramid and they're like, okay, you're going to have to walk that entire thing. You're like, oh my God, that seems so daunting. So by the way, I want you to do this with me. All I'm doing is I'm shifting my weight side to side, doing a hip slide right now. It seems daunting to climb that pyramid, right? But when you think of like, I'm just going to take one step and then I'll take the next step. And eventually you say, oh, I've taken 5 steps already, and that was 5 steps further than where you were before. And why is that important? One, it shows that you can take any type of action, no matter how big the task is. And especially in belly dance, some of these complex movements where you're starting to move and you want to get really proficient in, it starts to look like, oh shit, no. I'm not there yet, right? I'm not there. I can't do that. Blah, 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 blah. But if you're like, oh, what it took was a chest lift, then a chest slide, and then you're gonna chest lift and slide to the side. Then we start to learn what it means to undulate, and then we learn what it means to shift our weight, right? So let's go back to that hip slide right here. So as you are learning beginning movement, it is one, teaching you patience. I know it taught me patience. Oh my God. And then 2, it learns you give yourself time to trust that you can do it, because on the other side of it, you get the accomplishment. You have gone that much further, right? We're not looking for crazy amounts of progress all at once. You're looking for these small changes over lots of time. So one of the other reasons why learning beginning movement is so important is because these are legit the building blocks of all the movements. Weight shift, right? Just shifting your weight from left to right, and making sure that you can feel this change in your body and understand it and get it before you're like, I'm going to run a marathon, right? No one starts running a marathon. They start off with walking, as we all did, and then maybe a jog, then a run, and then a longer run, and then a quicker run, all of this stuff. So you're building towards it. So we're getting weight shift in the process of learning beginning movement. You're understanding what it means to start to isolate. Let's go back to this one together, right? You're starting to learn what it means to isolate movements and only shifting one part of your body gently and distinctly. So it's clean, it's precise, it's wonderful, you're feeling fantastic. We're gonna shift into a front and back movement. Front and back. And I want you to see how little I'm moving. It's not supposed to be right? Just these little bitty movements. And you're feeling, does the weight shift to my toes, to my heels, to my toes, to my heels as I keep my tailbone down? So when it becomes the building block of all of these movements, right now we're hip sliding front and back, and we just came from side to side, you start to really be able to grasp in your head and in your body what it means to do some of these movements. So now we're going to change it into a hip circle starting on your left side. So it's going to be left, front, right, back, 5, 6, 7, 8. Left, front, right, back. And I'm stopping at each point right now. So you can see that as we are learning all of these building blocks, this becomes so important for many reasons. If I were to stop here, how many movements do we know if you're more advanced of a dancer or if you're just starting out? How many times have you seen a dancer's body in some kind of position where it's off to the side? Plenty of times. We have it for this. We have it for this. We have it for this as well as for this, right? And those are just like 2 movements right there. So when we start to get these concepts, all of this other movement becomes really a lot more smooth and easy in our body. So let's go back, holding to your right side, boom, we'll go back and then continue it on. So as you start to learn all of these beginning movements, all of the complex ones that are built on top of this will be that much cleaner. Yes, it will be. So now we're gonna round it out, right? So this is one of our most foundational movements, the hip circle. So what is also important about this is that when you start to really grasp the beginning movements, they start to become so natural on your body that you don't have to put as much conscious, forthright effort into thinking about the technique behind it, because you've drilled it so much, it's become part of your muscle memory, right? So if I start to want to do all these other movements on top, you're like, whoa, 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 that would typically throw me off. But I've been doing this for the past over 15 years now that I'm like, oh, I'm confident and I trust my body to continue this on. So when I want to add different types of movement on top of it, it doesn't throw my movement off. So this is such another important thing to get with learning beginning movement, is that this is part of the process. If you want something to become really natural on your body, let's reverse. So now you are going counterclockwise on your body. So once something becomes really, really natural, you can start to think of other things that you want to put into your dance. Expression, face, heaven forbid, enjoyment. Right? Like living your best dance life out on that dance floor, right? Or in your studio, or in your living room, or wherever you're dancing, kitchen, bathroom, hallway, all of it applies, right? But you're starting to get such the hang of it that you don't have to think about it as much, and you can allow yourself to relax into the movement. Go ahead and shake it out, right? So let's recap real quick why learning beginning movement is so important. 1, it helps build trust within yourself that you can get it done, right? Because it is so uncomfortable to learn something from the very beginning and then work through that, like all this and awkwardness through all of those stages. It hurts so bad, right? To get through all of that. But you realize in the end that you're okay. 2, so many of these complex movements that we do that are really dependent upon having a really strong foundation it gets so much cleaner by the time you layer more and more because you have such a strong foundation base. The third thing that we talked about, why it's so important to learn beginning movement well, is because then you don't have to put so much conscious effort into thinking how to get it done. It is now just ingrained in your body like it is to walk, right? We don't think about walking anymore. Well, most of the time, but like we don't think about walking anymore. We just walk, right? Because it's become so intuitive. It's become so natural for us to do that it's not something that you're like, lift foot, put down, push my body forward, right? We don't think of it like that. But in the beginning, our brain was like, does not compute. And so we're trying to work it out. It's the same with the dancing. Okay. So what I want to encourage you to do is embrace learning the beginning movement, especially if you're just starting out and you're just watching my video, or you just started maybe a month ago, 5 months ago, 2 years ago, 20 years ago. We can all go back. I still do. I still drill my basics, right? Because I want to make sure that my body remembers the building blocks of all of the movement that I do, right? So it's okay to be uncomfortable. Small changes over lots of time, and you're looking for progress, not precision, more than anything else through time. Okay, so let's go back to that circle. And as you're starting to just allow yourself to feel, let's think about all the other movements that we can think of that involved a hip slide, right? Either front, back, or side to side, right? What involves at least one component of that? Figure 8, right? We just now have hip slide and a twist. What else do we have? We have reverse figure 8 when we come out to the side. You have vertical figure 8s where you're coming out to the side at one point and doing either a hip lift or a hip drop simultaneously. So you're getting all of these movements in, and then don't forget, then we start to have arms, right? But once you get this and this and this and this, all of those things down and being okay with like, okay, the pain will stop eventually of the awkward and uncomfortableness, you will soar because you will be like, oh, I'm a beautiful bird who has spread its wings. Okay. So embrace the uncomfortable, be okay with learning the beginning movement. I can't even tell you how much it makes a difference later on down the road, that you'll feel so much stronger in your dancing, and in turn, you will enjoy yourself more. If you are just starting out as a student of belly dance, rock sharky, oriental dance, I want to personally invite you. I'm doing this amazing beginning belly dance day on Saturday, October 23rd at 11 a.m. Arizona time. And it is a 45-minute class geared towards people who have no dancing bone in their body, absolutely no experience, want the pace of a class that they can actually grasp what's happening in their body, and just to enjoy themselves in a non-competitive, safe environment and building that love and community around them. I want to invite you to come to that. It is absolutely free. The link to sign up for it is down below in the description. So I really want to make sure that you sign up and join all these other dancers. And for those of you who do attend, there's going to be this like special promotion just for you for my membership. So I want you to go, I want you to have a good time and learn what you can actually get done in a 45-minute true beginning belly dancer class.